morning everyone, I'm Christina from Leafy Luster and I am a small business plant shop owner. I sell houseplants from home and I'm currently preparing for the biggest plant drop that I have ever done with the power of looking cute today and also some cold brew tea. I think I'm finally motivated enough to tackle this restock. First, let's make a list. As always, I want to paint my canvas that I use for the background of my pictures. I want to pick out all the plants that are for sale from my propagations, but also from my purge video. I need to take pictures, edit them, and do the listings, obviously. I want to reorganize my plant shelf. Lastly, when everything is done, I want to schedule the pickup times with my customers and hand over the plants. With that done, let's start the day. Let's paint the canvas first. I need a color that fits well with the green and the white variegation of the plants. So they are still well visible, but also just white is so boring. I've got my canvas here, some acrylic paints, and I think I want to try out a concrete grayish tone first. I'm already dirty. How am I doing this? Just little dots of black. And now the fun part, hopefully. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so fun. This is my finished backdrop. A little underwhelming, but I still hope that it will give a little bit more intrigue to my pictures. Let's leave this to dry here and move on to the plants. Because we live in such a small flat, today I will need 2 working stations, so our kitchen table needs to be a working table today. I already have like plants in the kitchen, on the floor, and it's the same every time I do a bigger project. I don't know why, but it's just a whole ordeal.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
First up, I want to collect all of the plants that I want to photograph today on this table, just to collect them all. I already have a few from last week's video, which was my yearly plant purge. So these plants I just don't love anymore, or they are just not working for me. If you want, check the video out. I'm also selling my big philodendron tortum. I don't know, it just doesn't fit in my home anymore. Plant. These are all of the plants that I already purged last week. Now let's move on to my grow shelves, prop boxes, grow tables, wherever I have propagations, because it's all over the place, and pick out all of the plants that I want to sell from there. Hello, this is my plant shelf. Now this is where I keep most of my propagations. I want to take out these trays I keep the plants in because A, I'm small and I can't really see well what is happening on top of there. I just want to take everything out without destroying anything and check it out one by one. I have to show you something. This little Alocasia fried egg, look how cute this is. It's so small and it's in this tiny little pot. Oh, that's adorable. Destroying anything? Have you seen this? I hate myself. Who? Yes. Isn't this funny? I have 2 workstations and I still kind of managed to sit on the floor again because I just ran out of space to put things. If this isn't a sign to move, I don't know what is. Let's pick out some plants. Immediately, this begonia tamaya, I think it is, stands out to me. It looks really well adapted to soil and I think she's ready to be sold. This Epipremnum Cebu Blue seems to be doing well. While I'm at it, I'm also cleaning out any dirt that is in here and I'm inspecting basically every single plant because I want to make sure there is no pests in my collection and I can see if all of the propagations are doing well. My criteria for plants that I want to sell are pretty simple. I just want them to be good quality, be rooted and adapted to soil before I can sell them. And I also want visible, new, healthy growth, so I can make sure that these plants are going to live on with my customers. I don't do this every week, but if I have the chance, this is so worth it to really go through everything one by one. Just to give you a little overview, it is already the afternoon. Plants are everywhere. The floor is wet and dirty. The table, plants back there. It's our painting. It's a mess. Tray number 1 is stocked back up again and can go back into the shelf. Pretty good. Ta-da! As always, I grossly underestimated how long this would actually take to go through all of these. I got one major issue. I think 30 listings are free on eBay, and then upwards of 30 you have to pay, I think, a fraction of what you make to eBay. But I can group the same plants into one listing and then just list multiples of them. This way I can just save a little space on the internet. I have so many plants. Am I crazy? The answer is yes. The acrylic seems to be dried now. I might think of something to matte it down a little bit, but for now let's try like this. And I always use a ruler to indicate the size. Let's try that with this little Monstera variegata here. And I don't think it's bad, but it's also not great. I think it's because the green of the plant is a little bit more warm and the background is more like a bluish gray. Now with my setup done, there's only one thing left to do. I need to mark all of the plants that I have multiples of with a number, so I can know later which plant I actually sold to which person. Like these Alocasia polys, for example. And now I need my camera. I often get asked how I manage to keep this much inventory. To be honest, I don't really do it on purpose. If you have this many plants in your collection, there's just always something to be propagated or trimmed, or plants that have pests and you just want to restart them. Sometimes you get seeds and seedlings, so I just always have something going on. So over time it just naturally amasses to all that you see in my flat and all of these propagations. But you guys, I gotta say, if I can sell all of the stuff that I have sitting on my table here, I would be extremely happy. not because of any monetary value, but simply the space that would be freed up because of this would make me so happy. I'm literally dying from hunger. Have some little pretzels. I did calculate how much time it took me to photograph all of these plants. So this was approximately 1 hour and 25 minutes. And I usually don't have this many plants to sell, so it usually takes me less than an hour. Plus, picking out the plants beforehand, I think usually takes like 15 minutes. I'm not saying that selling plants is a no effort job, but I think the effort is pretty reasonable. And I mean, hey, you're your own boss. If you don't have time for it, then just sell less plants or just don't sell any plants this month. It's such a luxury to decide everything on your own terms. So now it is time to sit back, relax, edit some pictures and do the listings. And I love to watch some Netflix next to it or listen to podcasts. It's such a relaxing task. I love this. Oh my God. I took over 300 pictures. That's a lot to put into listings. Holy shit. I might have underestimated how much work this is going to be. I hope I can manage to upload everything tonight. Most of the times people are looking to buy stuff on the weekends. Editing, I can mostly copy and paste all of the same settings onto the pictures, tweak a few things, and then for listing the plants I have my little Word templates. I can use these every time. I just need to change out the name and the prices, and then I'm good to go. I ended up with 27 listings, which is great. I stayed under 30, no additional fees needed. That's good. I went ahead and calculated the value of all of the plants I listed. So if I were to sell everything down to the last plant, I would be left with 796 euros in the bank. That's impressive, right? It is 1 week later now, and I want to give you a few updates on how the sales went down. The messages started pouring in right away, which is a good feeling, not gonna lie. You have to be aware of the fact that people will reach out to you at any time, 24/7. I mean, you can decide when to respond, but still you're being bombarded with messages left and right. It's hard to put a number on it, but in the first week it was about 5 to 10 minutes a day of messaging back and forth to find out the best pickup times. Now about that, let's have a look into it. Today I'm going to deliver some plants to a colleague of mine. She wanted to have some new plants for her new apartment, and yeah, so I'm bringing these to work and then later to her. Das sieht mega cool aus.
Es hat einen ganz anderen Flair.
Ja.
Jetzt schon, obwohl es noch nicht fertig ist.
Most of the people come and pick up the plants in my home, so I don't have to go anywhere. It's kind of quick and easy, although sometimes I end up chatting with them about plants for like half an hour. I also offer a pickup in the city, so I just take the plants to work with me and then they can pick them up there. So for my standards, the first week went really well, and I mean really, really well. I was really happy with it. Before we move on, let's take care of this Monstera albo variegata. I want to sell this as well, but not in its entirety. I'm going to make single note cuttings to get the most out of it. So this will be a great example on how to propagate your Monstera. You can see these spaces in between two nodes, so the internodal spacing. We already have a few aerial roots on here as well, which will make propagation easier. And I will just cut in between two nodes. The variegation on this plant is amazing actually, so these will be gorgeous little cuttings. And I'll just continue downwards This right here is the auxiliary bud, which will be the new growth point of your plant. And since this aerial root grew into the substrate, I will have to uproot everything. I was really careful to not overwater this, and still I have a lot of rotten roots in here. It was an experiment. I kind of failed, but you know, it's alright. It's gonna survive. You might be thinking 796 euros is a lot of money, but how much did I actually sell, or how much money did I actually make? So it has been exactly a week, Saturday to Saturday. In 1 week, I was able to make exactly 277 euros. Usually I sell like plants worth like 100 to 150 a month maybe. Mind you, I have a registered business and I need to pay taxes on all of my income, so that sucks, but still, I think that's a really nice income from just selling plants locally. I'm not even shipping the plants, I just sell to people in my area, which also makes it a little bit more difficult, especially with the collector plants or more rare plants. You're not going to find casual plant enthusiasts buying a Alocasia Friedeck for 100 euro. It's just not going to happen. So, my beautiful jar of propagations is done. Oh, that's so gorgeous. To give these poor little babies the best possible fresh start that I can, I'm going to use my Cyber soil from Cybertonica. I just use the aeroid mix for most of my plants, but if you want, they have a special soil mix for almost any type of plant. So you can go for Hoyas, Anthuriums, Ficus. They have a mix for everything, ready to use with the perfect mixture. This one has a lot of charcoal, perlite, cocoa chips, and also warm castings, so it is already pre-fertilized. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can save 10% if you use my link or my code LEAFY at checkout. Every single plant I have potted into Cyber soil so far has been thriving ever since, especially my Hoyas. They love the Hoya mix from them. They have been blooming ever since and just growing, I don't know, just more plump and nice. It's amazing. Now with that done, let's talk business again. So anytime you make a sale, you also need to document it. Otherwise, you will get into trouble paying your taxes or not paying your taxes. Since I sell mostly locally and the people pay in cash, I need a way to document this. For documenting the cash flow, I just use these pre-printed receipt forms. You can fill these out yourself, in German obviously. And then you can give one to your customer and keep one for yourself. These are the ones I filed this week. This I can put into a folder in real life, but I also use a bookkeeping software, so I can just photograph this and put it in there as well. If you're in search for a good bookkeeping software, I use Safdesk. It is available in UK, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. I can only recommend, so I'll leave a link down below if you want to take a peek. Additionally, I have my little Excel file that's a remnant from my early days as a plant seller, but I still like to keep it to have a really quick and rough overview of all the sales, but also how much I sold each month. I have a little graphic and some diagrams, but it's unfortunately not accepted by any tax department. I have another pickup date with a customer today, but if you have any other questions about selling plants or the plant business, feel free to ask them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. I hope you can join me for the next video. I have a ton of plant chores to do and a lot of cuttings that need to be potted up since I need new inventory now. I will see you next time. Until then, enjoy your plants and goodbye. Woo!